you spend enough time BSing, you can come up with some BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you that anybody can. What up, y'all? So today I'm gonna talk about how there's some people who don't like when you talk about the intuitive bias. Um, so the intuitive bias that's been going on for years, right? Um, this is not something new. Anybody with common sense can see that there's a clear intuitive bias. Um, but the funny thing is, a lot of people don't like when I or somebody else talks about the intuitive bias or addresses it or calls it out because they're fake. That's the main reason, but um, they're part of the problem, obviously. Like people who are fake don't like when you say real stuff. I mean, that's a big reason. Also, people a lot of times when someone tries to call out the intuitive bias, you'll get intuitive. They always got 1,000 excuses as to why it's not a bias, and oh, it's um, they try to make it seem like the bias doesn't exist, um, which is crazy. Like if you want to talk about the majority of people that are in the Myers Briggs, a lot of them just don't know any better, but a lot of them are intentionally just insecure people. But majority of them are going to be on the side of thinking that being an intuitive is better, and sensors are meant to just be the lesser form of people. Um, Also, another part of that too is weird how, um, like when I make videos talking about the INFJs and things like that, um, I specify in every single video that I'm not actually talking about INFJs. I feel like I specify this in every video, but when I make videos talking about the problems with the INFJ label and stuff like that, I'm not actually having a problem with INFJs. I thought I made this clear, but every once in a while I get somebody who don't listen or they're trying to twist my words, one of the two. But I make it very clear that I don't actually have a problem with INFJs. I have a problem with people who use the INFJ label to do things that um to create a superiority complex, or they use it as a status badge, like people like that. Also, people who are just mistype INFJs and they only want to be an INFJ because they heard that INFJs were the rarest type. Those type of people. That's the only thing I'm talking about. I'm never actually talking about INFJ unless it's an INFJ that's unhealthy or something like that. Which that's any type. I'm always gonna have a problem with a type. Anybody of any type that is unhealthy or um, underdeveloped, or because people who are that type that I consider unhealthy, underdeveloped, they often do things to harm other people and out of insecurity. So of course I'm going to have a problem with those. But I don't look at INFJs any differently than anybody. The reason why I talk about it is because that's the main issue in Myers Briggs. Is people walking around saying, "Oh, I'm an INFJ," but using it look at me, I'm an INFJ, I'm the rarest type. That's the only reason they saying it. Like, or people, a lot of them are mistype. You know what I mean? That's just what's going on in the Myers Briggs community. If it wasn't going on, I wouldn't be talking about it. It's just that simple. Um, let's say if it was my type that was that. Let's say if that same issue that's been going on with INFJs was happening to my type, I would be doing the same exact thing. I would be getting tired of people walking around saying I'm an ISTP and they're not ISTPs. I would be doing the same exact thing. I would be trying to balance it out and give other types praise. The way that you know that is look at how I praise SJs, because SJs don't get enough credit. People only want to acknowledge the bad SJs, but there's plenty of SJs that are decent people, and they don't deserve the amount of hate that they get. And then also, like when I try to give SJs praise, you always got people coming and got 1,000 excuses as to why they don't deserve any type of credit or praise. They always got an excuse. This happens anytime somebody wants to come and address some of these issues because these people don't want you to talk about it. Um, but yeah, I'm also keep it real with you too. I do delete comments, 1,000%. And the comments I delete, Nine times out of 10 is people trying to take me out of context. Yeah, I'm going to delete your comment if you take me out of context and you take my words and try to twist them. If you watch one of my videos and you take my words and try to twist them, or you're not listening, yeah, I'm going to delete your comment. Um, like it's because people do that. It's a manipulation tactic. They do that because they can't actually argue my actual point in the video, so they have to make it seem like I'm making a point in the video that I'm not actually making. Yeah, I'm going to delete your comment. Also, if you come and you just talking shit, maybe I shouldn't. I mean, I'm not monetized quite yet, but I don't really curse that often. But if you just talking crazy in my comment section, yeah, I'm going to remove you. You know what I mean? Or if you just comment in bad faith, um, there's a difference between like genuinely disagreeing with somebody and coming. Like my thing is, you can't genuinely disagree with somebody if you're misrepresenting their point in the first place. You're making it seem like I'm making a point I'm not making. You're not actually disagreeing with me genuinely. You're disagreeing with some imaginary argument that you try to make it seem like I was making. You know what I'm saying? I had a person also who tried to make it seem like I got a grudge match with INFJs. I don't have any grudge match with any type. Like the most talked about type in the Myers-Briggs community is INFJs. And the biggest problem in the Myers-Briggs community is people walking around saying, I'm an INFJ, but they're only saying it for the wrong reasons. And they're using it to belittle other people or to make it seem like they're superior to other types. That's the problem in the Myers-Briggs community. So that's what I'm talking about. If it wasn't a problem, I wouldn't talk about it. I don't have a problem with INFJs. And I'm not even talking about genuine people who are genuinely INFJs and they're just normal people. I'm not talking about you. Um, I'm cool with those people. I'm cool with INFJs in real life. Like, there's people in real life. One in particular is probably watching this video. Um, who I typed as an INFJ. They're 100% INFJ, and they confirm they're an INFJ. And I know there's nothing like I don't even think about it. I'm not thinking. If you're an INFJ and you come talk to me, you say, "Hey, I'm an INFJ." By the way, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. You're an INFJ." I'm not thinking about it. You know what I mean? But when I'm making a video talking about INFJs, yeah, I'm going to talk about the problems that's going on and that gets swept under the rug because they don't want you to talk about it. Because also there's some people that benefit from their ego benefits from the constant INFJ praise too. Whether it be an INFJ that's maybe immature or something like that, or it's a person that's not an INFJ that's just very narcissistic and they like the label of being like rare because they're narcissistic. They benefit from the bias. You know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna want me to talk about it. They're not gonna want, and a lot of these intuitive, they don't want you to talk about intuitive bias either because they benefit from it and they're fake. It's just that simple. Um, it's a huge problem. Also, I got a video I was gonna react to pretty soon. It's an actual intuitive talking about the problems of the intuitive bias, and they talk about all the same things I was just talking about that I always talk about in my videos. That's coming soon, but I'm gonna give a reaction to that. It's an old video, but that's coming soon. But yeah, bro, this stuff been going on for years, bro. Like for me to not talk about it when it's not talked about enough is crazy. Like anybody with common sense can see it's a problem. People like also another part of it, people get so used to the typical things people say about SJs, about censoring and intuitives, that they kind of just get used to it and they become numb to the problem. Um, and desensitized to the problem. So they make it seem like because somebody can, if you spend enough time on anything, you can always come up with a bunch of BS reasons that kind of sound legit, and then it can kind of start to sound like it makes sense. If you spend enough time BSing, you can come up with some BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you that anybody can. So people can kind of just it waters things down and it makes it seem like okay, maybe they got a point. No, bro, we're not gonna do that. You can do that with anything. Like if we being 100% like truthful and real, there's a clear intuitive bias. Um, and if anybody says any different, they're lying, um, and they're fake. It's just that simple. Yeah, I'm going to address it. Um, and what else was I saying? The other main point, yeah, I'm going to remove your comment if you taking me out of context and creating arguments about things I never said in the first place. Yeah, I'm going to remove your comment. Or if you come in and you just talking crazy, yeah, I'm going to remove your comment. I like I have every right to do that. It's my channel. But sometimes people are manipulative. Like they can make some comment making it seem like you're saying something you're not. And sometimes they do it purposely. They know what you're actually saying, but they're purposely trying to make it seem like something that is not. So I'm trying to make sure I said everything I want to say. Um, yeah, bro, y'all always got 1,000 excuses. And the video I was talking about, I'm gonna react to. You look in the comment section, they got 1,000 excuses. Same thing. It's a bunch of people in the comments got all these excuses, make it seem like, oh, it's not a bias. It's just that it's always some BS, bro. It's a clear bias because sensors and intuitives are not like there's not a thing where intuitives are just better at things than sensors. There's two opposite sides of the spectrum. Sensors are better at certain things. Intuitives are better at certain things. Um, there's types that don't get a lot of praise that should get more praise in certain areas. Like for instance, when I was making my best athlete video, people are never talking about how ESFPs are some of the greatest athletes. Sometimes, well, not even ESFPs, ISFPs and ESFPs sometimes get underrated as athletes, even though they're some of the best athletes. There's certain stereotypes, negative stereotypes that always get pushed for certain types, but you know, and it makes it so that people don't have a solid understanding of what the type actually looks like in real life and like the good and the bad of the type. They only know the bad of certain types versus they only know the good of the intuitive types most of the time. Um, which is very unfair for people that are getting into Myers Briggs and they want to enjoy Myers Briggs to its fullest. It's unfair to them because then they don't know how much they could have enjoyed it if if it was something that they could enjoy. You know what I mean? It's like y'all messing up for everybody. But anyways, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching.